This video might have turned out to be a bit too critical. You may disagree with my points of view, that's fine, but I'm sure you will find that there is some truth to it. If you're somehow connected to language learning in general, then I do think you should watch this video till the end, which will perhaps change some of your personal points of view on language learning. Hello everyone, my name is Julia, very glad to see you here on my channel. If you're here, then it means we are both interested in language learning, but if not, welcome anyways. In this video, I decided to talk with you about something really important, something that has been getting on my nerves, to be honest, pretty hard. To be precise, about some of the most popular tendencies, so to speak, in the community of language learning in general. And it's going to be some sort of a continuation to my previous video. Do watch it later. Since we are nowadays exposed to so much unnecessary information which comes already to every field of life, ranging from daily news to advice on how to properly learn languages, it is absolutely necessary to filter all that information that comes into our minds. Looking at famous polyglots who know 10, 15 foreign languages is, of course, inspiring. They make us believe that mastering a foreign language, and maybe even more than one, is absolutely possible, and I really love the idea. The problem, however, comes when some language bloggers start showing their own approaches that sometimes don't even have anything to do with actual language learning, but more on that just in some seconds. And other learners, looking at all that, presume they must be doing the same stuff. Yet that stuff doesn't look to be helpful. I will go to specific examples now. Have you ever heard of the so-called language learning trackers? You know, those ones that you draw in your language journal, for example. People use it to track their language progress. Every time you do a listening activity, you tick one box. Every time you have a grammar section, you tick the other. I'm pretty sure many of you have seen something like that. People track all their study hours, drawing diagrams of how many hours they have spent on doing grammar, how many hours they have spent in language learning apps. Now, you don't need that to learn a language. Let's just now honestly think how such trackers could possibly help you in your study process. As I've mentioned in this video, in which I showed you, by the way, how I set up my language journal, there are so many language bloggers I've seen that show their own language journals, the greater part of which belongs to language trackers. I honestly don't get it. The thing is that if there are many people doing something, talk about it a lot, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to do the same. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's a must-do for you as well. I mean, we're all, I guess, intelligent enough to understand that we need to have grammar sessions, to do listening activities to learn a language, etc. Don't let language trackers or something else of that kind take your attention away from the main idea. Why do you have this language journal? To learn languages, not taking. A language journal is a place for your short stories, texts, copying little poems into your language journal. Time you spend on drawing and taking those language trackers, you could be spending on actual learning. You might tell me now you need those trackers just to see your progress in language learning. But isn't it better to rate your study progress by your actual language skills? Look at what kind of texts you were writing, let's say 2-3 months ago, and look at it now, compare them. If your texts or stories have become more expanded, they now have more advanced vocabulary, let's say, then congratulate yourself. If not, then just focus a bit more probably on grammar. Your real progress will be seen only in your language skills, not how many green ticks you have in your language learning trackers. To explain such an addiction to language learning trackers can probably another thing that is popular now too, planning. We were made to believe that there is some strict plan, a specific algorithm that we should follow to reach the goal of mastering a foreign language. There are so many bloggers who are telling us now how to organize ourselves, how to plan correctly, but should it be so strict and so well planned? Of course, learning a language is not an easy task. It requires from you some strictness towards yourself, especially if you're a self-learner. But remember, all is well in moderation. There are many things that are super exaggerated. There are many things that you simply don't need. Take a deep breath and take it easy. Today there's so much talking about anxiety and burnout. I am sure it's not a coincidence when so many people tell you how to organize yourself, how to create a steady plan, how to read and learn languages faster. Of course, everybody will be anxious and with a great burnout in such a situation. Many of us got addicted to the idea of, I have to get everything done. There must be a daily plan. There must be a daily study routine. No, your brain is absolutely able to work on its own, to remember and understand what you should be doing to learn a language. Give some space and liberty, so to speak, to your brain, and you'll see that you will feel more relaxed, which will probably let you learn even more rather than you were learning following a strict study plan. Now about language learning goals. Oh, how many times I've heard this word. I'm sure you too, and maybe even posted some of them on your social media. Now I'm gonna be pretty honest with you. I don't see any need of posting it, showing everyone what you must reach till the end of this specific year, because first of all, nobody really cares, and second of all, just imagine all the pressure that will be with you, that will be on you all year long. Especially in October, November, the year is coming to its end. You're looking at the list of your language learning goals, realizing you haven't achieved them yet, getting sad, or else starting to work pretty hard. As a result, a great burnout and a ridiculously high level of anxiety. Of course, now if you're that kind of person who takes challenges calmly, without any exaggeration, and not letting your self-esteem drop if you fail all of them, then I think you're a perfect person to really write such language learning goals. But if not, think twice before writing them and before posting them. Think twice if you really need them. What can I add here to sum it all up somehow? Probably that we shouldn't create problems for ourselves that don't even exist. Let's stop exaggeration with all those language study plans, tracking our progress, drawing diagrams of how many hours we spend every day on learning, planning what language level we should have by the end of the year. Let's try to stop living by following some kind of an algorithm. The more we follow strict plans or copy other learners and polyglots without listening to ourselves first, the more misunderstanding we create in our heads. As I've mentioned today, all is well in moderation, but when something gets exaggerated, it turns into something stupid. Let's not let ourselves fall into this. So, thank you so much for being here with me till the very end. If you found some of my thoughts and ideas interesting, feel free to leave a good comment down below, which I'll pretty much appreciate. Subscribe, of course. I'll be very glad to see you here again in the next video.